See how to create a custom pixel LED animation using Macromedia Flash. I'm going to create an animation for a single pixel LED line. Let's create the Flash document. Click here and the Flash document. Now this is our worksheet. Here's the worksheet properties. Click on the size. Each 1 by 1 pixel equals to a pixel LED in your pixel LED layout. Since this is a animation for a single pixel LED line or pixel LED string, I'm going to give the width as 50 pixels, and for height we only have a single pixel LED on the height, so I'm going to type 1. The other thing is the background color. For this project I'm going to use background color as black, which means the pixel LEDs are turned off except for the pixels we are animating with different colors. Alright, for the frame rate, I'm going to give the same frame rate as my pixel LED project. Alright, 24 frames per second, and ruler units as pixels, and click OK. I scroll down and up and see whether you can find the worksheet. Once you find the worksheet, use the zoom tool to zoom in, and this is how it looks like. I want to create a grid, so it will give us the exact location of each pixel LED on this worksheet. Alright, click on view and go to grid and click here, show grid. Now as you can see, we only have 3 grid lines, which means our grid size is not as we want. Go back to view and select edit grid. For the grid color, you can give any color. It won't be visible on the output file, so don't worry about it. Make sure to check show grid and also snap to grid as well. I'm going to give 1 by 1. Alright, snap accuracy, I'm going to use normal and click OK. Now you can see the grid size being changed. You can see each pixel LED on this worksheet. You can do anything for this worksheet. For this tutorial, I'm going to create a chaser animation, also known as running LEDs. It is simple animation. So here's your layers. You can create and delete them. Alright, layers will help you to separate each graphic sections on these animations. Layer portion also matter. Anything on the layer 3 will be on the top of layer 1. You can change the layer by clicking and dragging it up or down. For this tutorial, I'm only going to use a single layer. Now the first thing I'm going to create is a rectangle. Click here on the rectangle tool, and for the stroke color I'm going to select none, and for the fill color I'm going to select red. You can select any color. Make sure one square of this worksheet have only a single color. Add a frame. We are in the first frame of this animation. As you can see, it is a blank frame. You can see it by the color of the frame. You can remove and create frames, insert frame, and every shape or anything you create here will be on the selected frame. Let's see what will happen when we create this square on this frame and in this pixel LED location. Here we go. I'm going to click here and drag it until it snaps to the other end and leave the mouse button. As you can see, we fill that square with red color. Now you can see the color of this frame changes. We are creating an animation, so we need to add more frames while changing the portion of this red square. Let's say I want to change this square's portion to the second pixel LED. To do that, I can click here on the second frame. I can click here on the 5th frame and then right click and select insert keyframe. From first frame to the 4th frame, it will be anything on this keyframe. After 5th frame, we have a new keyframe. Now we can change the position of this square. I'm going to drag it to the next pixel LED position. Click and drag it until it is snapped to the center of this next pixel LED position. As we move this frame slider at the 5th frame, you can see this square is on the second pixel LED's location. I'm going to go to the 10th frame and I'm going to right click here and click on insert keyframe. Alright, before doing that, let me show you how to do it quickly. Go to edit and select keyboard shortcuts, expand, insert, expand timeline, double click on the keyframe, click on duplicate set and type any name, anything you want, click on OK. Now click here, press the key that you want, so it will add a keyframe every time you press it. You don't have to right click and select add keyframe. I click OK. Now every time I press F6, it will create a keyframe. I'm going to do this for every 5 frames of this timeline. Let's change the position as well as we pass these frames. Go to the first keyframe and move the object by clicking it and dragging it to the next position. As you can see, this running light animation is working. Alright, you can do this to all these frames. This is how you create animation by adding frame by frame. But this is not the way you want to do this animation. I'm going to undo these actions by pressing Ctrl+Z. Okay, now we are at the beginning of this animation after creating the square at the first pixel LED position. To move it towards the end of this line, we are going to right click here and select create a motion tween. Then I'm going to the frame that I want this square to be at the end, and I'm going to select insert keyframe. At this frame selected, I'm going to move this square's position to here at the center of the last pixel LED position. If you play this by pressing enter, you will see this animation. That is very easy. That's how you create a motion tween. You can create a motion tween for any movement, color change. If you want to change the color of this square as it passed through from the first pixel LED to here, you can do that. Alright, let's say I don't want the color to be changed until the 30th frame. To do that, I'm going to click on the 30th frame and I'm going to right click and select insert a keyframe. Now we are at the middle of this animation. Click on this square. Now this square is no longer a square. It is considered as a graphic because we created a motion tween. Now on the color section here, I'm going to select tint and then at the 30th frame, I'm going to give it the same color. At this, I'm going to select the 60th frame. Then I'm going to click on the square or the graphic we created and select the same properties, tint, and I'm going to change the color to, let's say, I'm going to change it to this and I'm going to change the tint amount to 100%. Now let's see what will happen to this square. As you can see, after 30th frame, it will change its color to this color. Now you can do other things as well. If you want to fade this to the end, I'm going to do that animation as well. Let's say I want to fade this object. I'm going to undo until it changes. As you can see, if I click here, okay, at the end, I'm going to select the graphic, and then I'm going to select here the alpha. Now I'm going to change the alpha amount to 0. Now let's see what will happen after the 30th frame. By pressing enter, I'm going to play this animation. Now, as you can see, it will fade out. Let's say I want to add a tail to this running light animation. To do that, I'm going to first undo these actions and go back to the original motion tween animation. I'm going to change this graphic so it will have a tail to this graphic. To do that, I'm going to click on one of the frames, then I'm going to click on the graphic and double click on it to access the original graphic. Now we are inside that tween frame. I'm going to now lighten the color of each tail point. All right. To lighten the color, I'm going to use, you can use the alpha properties as well. Let's say I'm going to change it to 60. And then I'm going to click here. And all right. Now I'm going to create another rectangle. Now we are at 60. All right. Click here and change it to 40 and click enter. Now I'm going to create the graphic. All right, now as you can see, we have a tail to this running LED. Okay, now we need the return of this running LED. We need to change the direction of this running LED so that the tail will be on the back and the main LED will be at the front. So to do that, first we need to make sure that all these tail lights pass through every pixel LED. To do that, first let's move this graphic at the 60th frame so that it will pass through every one of these pixels. All right, now we have animation that displays pass through all these pixel LEDs. Okay, the next thing is we need to make sure this object will return to the first location. To do that, I'm going to create another layer and I'm going to copy this of this animation, layer 1, copy frames and paste it on the 61st frame. All right, paste frames. Now I'm going to remove the motion tween first so that it won't be anything we do to this graphic will not affect the motion tween on the first layer. All right, I'm going to remove the motion tween. Now we have a normal frame, keyframe on the 61st frame, but still this graphics refers to the original two-in-one graphic, which means anything you done to this graphic will result changes in the original graphic. We need to duplicate this graphic first. To do that, I'm going to click on this graphic at the layer 6, and then I'm going to right click and click on swap symbol and right click here on the two-in-one, which is the original graphic, and select duplicate symbol. I'm going to type tween 2 and then I'm going to click OK. Now we have the tween 2. Now to make sure this is the Tween tool, I'm going to double click on that. Now as you can see, as we select this graphic, we see Tween tool. Okay, now you can do anything to this graphic. I can select any square. I'm going to change the alpha of this square so it will be easy than repositioning these squares. I'm going to select the first square and select the color, and on the alpha I'm going to give 100%. Okay, click enter. Then I'm going to click on the second square. I'm going to go to the alpha value and change it to 60. All right, it is 60 already. And I'm going to change the last square's color to red alpha at 40%. Now if I go back to the original document, you can see this tail is reversed. Now I can apply the same motion tween to this animation section as well. Right click, create motion tween. At the 120th frame, I'm going to create, click on right click and select insert keyframe and move this graphic to the end or the beginning of this line. Right, make sure it passes through all these squares. You can use the keyboard arrows as well. All right, let's play this animation by pressing enter. Now you can see this is our LED chaser animation for this tutorial. This is it. This is our line animation example. The next thing we have to do is to export this animation as a SWF file. To do that, click on File and select Export and select Export Movie. And then I'm going to select the desktop, select a location. So make sure to select Flash Movie .swf. You need to give a file name, let's say animation _01, and click on save. Alright, it will give these settings window. Alright, leave these settings as it is. Make sure I'm going to uncheck compress movie, and I'm going to increase the JPEG quality to 100%, and I'm going to click OK. Alright, main thing to remember when you're creating an animation for LEDEdit software, you cannot include action script. Action scripted animations will not perform as it should on LEDEdit. So no action script, but you can use these motion tweens, or you can create this animation frame by frame. Alright, now I'm going to save this project, Control S. Alright, save. Now I'm going to close this Flash. Now we have our file right here. So this is the file I'm going to import to LEDEdit. Alright, I'm going to switch to Windows XP so that I can run LEDEdit 2014 and show you how to import this SWF file to LEDEdit 2040. We are in the Windows XP with LEDEdit 2014 running. I'm going to create a new project for this tutorial. Select the controller plus the pixel LED string, chip number, and alright, slow speed. I'm going to select the same frame speed as the animation. Alright, click OK. Now I'm going to create the layout. Click here, light layout, and I'm going to give the same horizontal and vertical details. I'm going to give 50 on the horizontal plane, and I'm going to input 1 on the vertical plane and click OK. Now here's our layout, line layout. Now I'm going to select the first program and I'm going to import the animation we just created. Click here on the video effect and select Open SWF and go to the location, desktop, and select the animation we just created. Now as you can see, our animation is playing on this LEDEdit. I'm going to record this animation. Click here, record, and I'm going to use the fast recording option, so it will record the entire animation. I don't have to edit. So now it's recorded. It's time to export this effect file. Alright, click here on the export and select export LED effect. And I'm going to leave these settings as default and click OK. Alright, I'm going to select the location, desktop. Alright, it's done. Now we have created our animation. Let's see how it looks like. For more detailed version of this tutorial, check out the website article below in the description. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you like this channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in another tutorial.